After that beat yesterday, let's dive deeper into it and talk about some ups and some downs and what Brian Flores had to say. What is up, Finn fans? Yes, unfortunately, Miami could not pull off that victory yesterday. A very up and down roller coaster of a game yesterday. After taking the day to take a deep breath, look at it again. I haven't done the film breakdown. That's coming out Wednesday, but we'll talk about some of the things that I will be talking about in the film breakdown. But we're going to talk about some ups, some downs, and all that good stuff, because I know a lot of people are feeling bummed out. A lot of people are feeling like the season's over. I'm not one of them. Not yet, anyway. So let's jump into that. But before we do that, I need to shout out some new members. First off, to everyone that subscribed, there's a ton of you that subscribed. We had almost 2,000 of you guys in that live stream yesterday. Thank you so much for becoming new subscribers to the channel. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everyone that has subscribed. We're almost at 27,000. We're at 26,508. Thank you guys so much for hitting that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. That's all I ever ask you to do. Hit that subscribe button, comment below. I want to hear from you guys. Thank you so much. But to the new members, Mike W., Phil Smith, and Smelly Walmart Hillbilly, thank you guys also for taking that extra step and becoming members and supporting the channel a little bit further. Again, you don't need to, but if you ever feel like, let me help Doug out, let me help the channel out, you can become a member, or you can become a Patreon. It is linked below in the membership. You just hit the join button. But again, never feel like you need to. Just hit that subscribe button and mostly comment. That's the thing I mostly want to hear from you guys. I know I got a lot of guys that watch and don't comment. It's all fine and dandy. But if you ever feel like you have a question or, hey, I disagree with you just said, Doug, don't ever hesitate to comment below. I want to hear from you guys. I love reading your guys' comments. Also, want to shout out my two guys in Patch Vibes. PatchVibes.com. Be sure to use the promo code DDW2. You get yourself 20% off. They have t-shirts, pins, hats, stickers, patches, obviously. Check them out. Great stuff over there. PatchVibes.com. Use the promo code DDW2. You get yourself 20% off. Be sure to check them out. And Backroom Collections. Fantastic artwork. You can see it popping up. I think it's over on this side or this side. I don't remember. But you can see it popping up. Fantastic stuff. Use the promo code DDW. You get yourself 10% off. And they're doing something with a Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor painting. So go check that out. But let's talk about what Brian Flores had to say in his media session. They asked him about Austin Jackson, whether he remains the starter left tackle. And Flores says there's always competition every week. Adds that Jackson did some good things against Las Vegas. I will say this. DJ Fluker has been tweeting out, and I'll pop those up as well. DJ Fluker's been tweeting out some things saying he's ready. He's getting ready to come back. I wouldn't mind having DJ Fluker maybe on the right, take Liam Eichenberg, put him on the left, take Austin Jackson, put him at left guard, Jesse Davis, right guard or something. Try to switch it up a little bit. Maybe Jesse Davis at center. I don't know. But they need some help on that offensive line because Austin Jackson, when we do the film breakdown and when I talk about it a little bit, bad day yesterday. The offensive line did some good things, but some things could have been done better. The communication, it's a group we can move forward with. I think it's a group we can move forward with is what he said. I'd like them to add a vet in there, please. Too many young guys. He says in terms of run game, Flores says we're able to get going a bit, but not consistently enough. We'll try to build on that. I'm going to talk about that as one of the downs because you should see the yards per average for Gaskin. The man's always getting plus yardage, so we'll see about that. Two on the sideline in the Vegas game. If you guys didn't know, Tua Tagovailoa was on the sideline during the game. He says he's getting better each and every day. He wanted to be with his teammates and support his teammates. It's 100% around all the Dolphin communities, regardless if you like Tua or you don't like Tua, regardless if you think he's a bust or you think he needs more time to develop. What I'm hearing from both sides of the Tua spectrum, everyone likes the kid as a person. Everyone likes his heart. Everyone likes him and what he gives towards the team. That is something that is consistent all around, and that is something you cannot deny. Regarding the lack of deep passes, Flores says, every week you're trying to create explosive plays, but when you get into a game, you got to take what they give you. And that is correct. A lot of times we want those deep passes, but if the offensive line doesn't give you enough time for the deep passes to develop, if there's not enough separation, which I will talk about, The deep passes aren't there. Don't want to force them. Don't want to cause a turnover, especially if it's first or second down. You don't want to just chuck the ball up on first down. All of a sudden it's picked, and you just essentially punted it to him. So I see where he's coming from with that. Flores says the decision to kick the field goal in overtime was made based on good things the defense has been doing and confidence in Jason Sanders making the kick. We wanted to extend the game. Flores says the decision was pretty clear to kick the field goal. That being said, Mr. Flores, then why didn't you kick the field goal instead of punting it? I think it was the third quarter, give or take, and we ended up punting it when it would have been like a 53, 54-yard field goal. I don't understand why he didn't punt it there, but you're deciding to kick the field goal in overtime, giving the Raiders the ball back with a little over 2 minutes left. You weren't able to stop them. Like, I think you stopped them, like I said, 5 times, give or take, but not in the overtime. Your defense is tired. And you're essentially at that point trying to stop them and play for a tie. Go for it, man. Go for it. And I don't understand. I disagree with him there. You felt so confident in your kicker, but then you ended up punting in the third quarter instead of trying to go for that field goal, which probably would have been the deciding factor of the game because he missed the other one and we gave him the 2 points. Flores said there's never a point we're taking what the defense gives you becomes counterproductive on offense. I don't think it becomes inefficient. I'm dyslexic. Don't make fun of dyslexics. I'm just kidding. You can make fun of me. The smart thing is to take what they give you. Yeah, of course. It is what it is. He said, Will Fuller looked good. We wish we had a few more opportunities. It was good to have him out there. It was. He did get some separation. I feel like, and I'll talk about this, if we had maybe a better quarterback out there, I'm not saying who it is, whether it's Tua, whether it's anybody, but I feel like if we had a better quarterback out there, because I don't think Jacoby Brissett's the answer, I think he would have got more opportunities. And he says, finally, the run defense has done a good job in spurts. I agree with that. We've run into some issues when everyone is trying to make a play. It's genuine and it's sincere, but we have a couple of guys get out of their gaps trying to make a play, and it was to our demise. 100% agree with that. 100% agree with that. So let me go into the ups and the downs, the goods and the bads, and then I'll give you a consensus of what I thought of the game. The ups, right? Christian Wilkins, he's talking about the run. 6 run stops, 10 run stops on the year. He's tied for first among interior defensive linemen. He also had a sack. And the other guy he's tied with when it comes to interior defensive linemen with 10 run stops on the year, that's Zach Zeeler. Zach Zeeler also was very effective in yesterday's game. Emmanuel Ogbah, 6 quarterback pressures yesterday, 15 on the season. He's tied for 8th. Among defensive ends on just pressures, though. I want to see more sacks out of him. But he is a guy that I think the Dolphins should really start to look at signing him long-term, trying to get that contract working. I don't want to wait till the offseason. Darren Waller was limited. Lowest yardage output since week 11 of last year. Byron Jones, which was incredibly intelligent of the defensive coaches, to put Byron Jones on Waller all game, well, not all game, allowed 3 catches for 39 yards, Byron Jones on Waller. We shut Waller, and we didn't shut him down, but compared to 112 yards last year when he was going one-on-one with Eric Rowe, big production from Byron Jones, keeping Waller limited. But if you remember in my preview video, I said you want to limit and you want to contain Waller, but you don't want to forget about Henry Ruggs. And we didn't forget about Henry Ruggs, but we forgot about some other players on their team. Jalen Phillips, another up. A lot of people are confused about Jalen Phillips. Where is he? Why am I not hearing from him? He's a bust. It's another Charles Harris. I'm hearing all these things. I'm going to end my Phil breakdown this week because he had, I think, like a huge uptick in snaps. I think he's at like 70%, almost 80% of the snaps, or 65%, going off the top of my dome. Huge uptake. We saw the production. We saw his aggressiveness. We saw him consistently getting pressure on the quarterback. There was times where he would get pressure on the quarterback, so he's getting at the quarterback. And then there was a pass to Henry Ruggs, I think, on a crossing route where he gets pressure on the quarterback and then he's the one who goes and makes the tackle about 10, 15 yards down the field. So Jalen Phillips not only is getting about 10 yards up the field to try to get the quarterback, but then he goes all the way back another 25 yards, and he makes the tackle when so many of the linebackers and corners are missing their tackles. He did that twice, where he was getting pressure on the quarterback, and then the man was all over the field yesterday. Got to put more respect on Jalen Phillips' name. Really like what I'm seeing from him. Like I said, Gaskin and even like Brown, they were about 4 or 5 yards per carry in the run game. So that's a positive you should see there. Other than that, I'll start talking about the negatives here. The play call. I'm pretty sure that's a pretty obvious negative. Something that's being talked about a lot. The two OCs kind of just seem to be not working in that aspect. But some of the play calls just dumb. And I'm not going to go too far into detail on some of the things in the negative, because those are where I'm going to talk about when I get the film and I break down film for you guys. But obviously, the screen to Waller in the end zone seems like Shaheen was open on a crossing route, would have got him to about the 5-6 yards. Gave him more cushion to continue making plays. There was a ton of, this is going to jump into another negative. They seem to force some of the deep passes. Flores was talking about that, right? You don't want to force these passes. You want to, give what you're taking. Let me see if I can find. Regards to the lack of deep passes, every week you're trying to create explosive plays, but when you get in the game, you got to take what they give you. There was times where Will Fuller was covered, one-on-one covered. He was not open, and Brissett would still try to chuck it up to him. And sometimes it was inaccurate. It would be more to the right when Fuller is more towards the sideline on the left. I noticed that a lot of times with Brissett. There's the what should be PI and what should have won us the game in the end zone, middle of the end zone, which was a perfect pass, but it was PI. We should have won the game off of that. But there's a lot of deep passes I was seeing from Brissett that were just off, completely off. There was a pass to Gaskin that was low, and he couldn't make the catch. But if you put it where it should have been on a wheel route, there was no one in front of him. And again, I'll talk about this in the film breakdown. Should have been a touchdown. Very inconsistent accuracy from Brissett yesterday. That's a negative. That's sticking to the run. The run was working at some points. Stick with it. And at some point you could say, well, they lost the lead. Yeah, but you had the lead. You were up 14-0. And again, it's like burned in my cranium. 2 plays are burned in my cranium from yesterday's game that I feel lost us the game. The screen to Waddle, and I know you guys say, well, missed field goal. Yeah, but if they don't throw that safety, I think the Dolphins don't need to go for 2. Dolphins could just get that touchdown and then kick the extra point to win the game with 2 seconds left, even without that safety. That and the no PI call on Will Fuller is just, I was thinking about it all night. I was thinking about it all day on my birthday. Yes, today's my birthday. And thank you guys so much on Twitter and in the comment section of the other video for wishing me a happy birthday. I was just thinking about it all day that they call that PI like they did for the Raiders last year. The Dolphins get the ball on the 1-yard line. They win that game. There's no way they're not scoring on the 1-yard line on 4 tries. They win that game. The win was taken away from us. And I just constantly think about that. And I'm like, we should be 2-1. And it just kills me. And I got to stop doing it because, there's nothing I can do about it and just move on. But it just kills me, right? Missing open guys. There was a ton of plays where Brissett just missed open guys. He was focused on one play and then on the other. There was times where you saw Gesicki getting frustrated because he was open. There was times where he was open for touchdowns and Brissett wasn't even looking his way. So a lot of people were getting upset with Tua of missing open guys, and Tua wasn't looking certain people's way. Well, Brissett's doing the same thing. Is it the offensive play calls? Is it the progression? Is Gesicki a number 3 in the progression? And by the time Brissett gets to 2, he gets the pressure and he has to get the ball. Again, I'll do it in the film breakdown, but there was open guys that Brissett was missing. So it's not just a Tua thing. Maybe it's just a quarterback thing. And then the final thing of the negatives is Liam Eichenberg. He's a rookie, so I'm not so much on top of him. He did better, but there was some plays where he just wafted bad. I don't know if he expected a stunt or he expected something different, but he just didn't block his guy. But Austin Jackson, bad day again. And it comes to the point where as an organization, and Flores is good at this, so I'm hoping he realizes this and he makes the necessary steps, because it was one of the first questions he was asked, to just realize this kid's not making it as a left tackle. Let's see what he could do at guard. Sometimes you just, Eric Flowers, sometimes you're just not a tackle, you're a guard, and just kick him into guard. He might be an all-pro guard and we don't know it. Kick him into guard, get a tackle, because he's just not working at tackle. There's one play where he just does not block his guy. And yes, it was a screenplay, but you want to at least chip your guy. You want to at least give Brissett an extra second or two to let this screen develop. He just lets his guy run. Right between him and Gaskin, the guy just goes free. And it's just these mix-ups and these mess-ups are just what's killing the offensive line and killing our game. The Dolphins need to be more aggressive. The Dolphins need to take more chances down the field. You have the players in Waddle, right? Waddle has 4.4 yards separation, but that stat is kind of misleading, incredibly misleading, because of how many of his passes are behind the line of scrimmage. If you're throwing behind the line of scrimmage, the DB is not going to be, 4 yards up on him because he's behind the line of scrimmage. So you have these guys who can stretch the field, who can be mismatches, and it seems like the offense is too scared to do these things. And it's not even, you can't even say they're too scared to do these things because of Tua and Tua's, inaccuracy or his lack of arm strength or whatever you want to say, because they were doing the same thing with Brissett. They need to be more aggressive. They need to take more chances, and they need to push the ball down the field a little bit more, because the way the defenses are looking at the Dolphins offense, they're not scared. They're not scared, for one, because we have no offensive line to really make a run game or make people afraid of us. And we're not stretching the ball down the field, and we're not playing aggressive. So they're like, oh, they're not going to throw it over the top. We'll put a single high safety and we'll get pressure on them. We'll just play the underneaths, because they love running slants. They love running crossing routes. They love running bubble screens. They love running wheel routes. They love running all these underneath 10-yard plays. They don't do stop and goes. They don't do post routes. They don't do go routes. They don't do any of this stuff. We don't have to worry about it. And if they do run it, the quarterback's not going to look that way. And that seems to be the trend. So they need to be more aggressive. Yesterday was a bad game. It was encouraging because they fought back. They shouldn't have had to fight back. You're up 14-0. You shouldn't have had to fight back. But they fought back. They gave up 25 answered, and they fought back, right? I don't think the season's over. I know a lot of you guys do. I read your comments. Told you, comment below. I read all your comments. I don't think the season's over. I think if they lose to the Colts, then all of a sudden you start to, that thought is going to start rolling in my head, because I don't see them beating Tampa. I do not see them beating Tampa. Tampa did lose to the Rams yesterday, but I don't see the Dolphins pulling that off and beating Tampa. And then they go to the Jags. I do see them beating the Jags. There's teams I still see the Dolphins beating: the Texans, the Jags, the Jets twice, the Giants, the Falcons. I still see 6 wins, so I still see at least 7 wins minimum. And then they might surprise a team, or maybe if something happens and something starts to change, they might, the Saints, Winston seems to go on back to. So I still see a potential 10-win team here. I know I'm probably going to get a lot of laughs, but I do see this team being better than the Colts, the Falcons, the Texans, the Jets, the Giants. I see this team being better, not only on the offensive front, but the defensive front. So I still see a good amount of wins on in our future. But if you want to surprise teams, if you want to beat the teams that people don't expect you to, Bucks, Ravens, Titans, Bills again, Saints, and even the Patriots sweeping them, they got to do something here. But be sure to comment below. I'm very interested in what you guys have to say about my deeper dive into this. And I'm going to get to a comment of the day. And this comment comes from a Finns fan. And he says, comment of the day: this offense does not lack talent as much as it lacks imagination. Offense looks very vanilla and predictable. I wish our coordinators would watch other teams' film to see how you win in the NFL. And I picked that comment because it coincides with what I was saying before, that they need to change it up. And I said yesterday, I was so frustrated. I said yesterday, something needs to change on this offense. I don't know what. Could it be quarterback? Could they do what everyone's, hinting at, what everyone is rumored at. I don't know. With Tua coming back, is that the change they need? Was him sitting back and watching a little bit more, taking notes and realizing, oh, these are the things I am missing in my game? Is that the thing that will push him to come back and be the quarterback we hope for? I don't know. But the offense is what is holding this team back. This defense is there. They're like maybe one or two pieces away. I want like more of a pressure from the pass rush, and I want better linebacker play. So maybe add a linebacker and more pass rush pressure. But they're right there. And you're going to waste it by having the offense just struggle. The defense is pulling along this offense. And then at some point, we're going to fix the offense, and all that defense that we built up, Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, Emmanuel Ogbah, they're going to be gone because they're either aged out or it's just they're not worth their contract anymore. So something needs to be changed on the offense. And now's the time to do it. Now's the time to seriously do that. But thanks, Vince fan. I agree 100%. Something needs to be changed, whether it's the play calling, the play callers, something. Offensive line, formations, all that good stuff. But I agree 100%, Vince fan. And thank you so much for the comment. Again, thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. Today is my birthday. And I want to thank you guys, all you guys on Twitter and in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. Today is, it's a good birthday. I'm turning 34. I'm 34 years old. Been a Dolphin fan for about 25 years. You can do the math and realize how long I've been a Dolphins fan and what age I started being a Dolphins fan. 26 years. I think it was 8 when I started becoming a Dolphins fan. But thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. It made the day better, even though the loss sucked. Having this community, having you guys support the channel and support me and will give me the birthday wishes really made the day better. And I love all you, and I appreciate all you. Check out Miami Sports Music. Go check them out. Steven does a great with his morning show. Great stuff over there. Funny. Love him. TD, K-Flexen's a part of it. Go check him out. Other than that, guys, I'll see you tomorrow with Big O and our Big O DDO show, I think I'm going to call it. I don't know. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. With that, we're going to talk about yesterday's game. But other than that, guys, like usual, thank you. Love you. Stay classy. Fins up.